All right, take me to Gravy Town. What are we talking about?
Gravy Town. Gravy's so delicious.
Gravy's I love gravy.
So, why work for TARTLE?
Why? Come on. What? Not why work for TARTLE. Why not work for TARTLE?
I think this is the better. In our onboarding material, we have this. Why work with TARTLE?
You know, you got to look at us outside of the realm of just economics. Okay?
Or startups in general.
Or startups in general. You know, there's a lot of, super high-paying jobs, developers, they get paid a lot, stuff like that. But they've made a commodity out of that market. The way most businesses look at individuals or the workforce is with the same statistics that they apply to cattle on farm fields. Okay? That's how they look at it. We couldn't do that at TARTLE because it would fundamentally stunt our growth. It would actually cripple the business. When you come to work at TARTLE or think about working with TARTLE, you first have to make a decision to yourself. Do I want to evolve? This is not a company where you can come in and essentially lie about your skill set, lie about who you are, lie about what you want to do, because we're data focused for human evolution.
Yes.
So why you would want to work with TARTLE is because you're saying that not only do I want to work so that I can sustain my livelihood, but I want to evolve personally. I want to be challenged. I want to find a deep sense of creativity that obviously is not being offered somewhere else because I'm looking for a different job. So coming to work with TARTLE is saying that I want to be as truthful as I can, because in doing so, that will spread out to everything that you're touching. And there's millions of human beings that interact with TARTLE. So as I come here to be truthful, to do work that's in service of others, to be positive, to be evolutive, as I choose to evolve, it also helps with the evolution of all those other people that are in need, that look to TARTLE as a tool to help them support themselves in their lives.
So let's run with this. So I'm a software engineer, and I have a lot of choices in front of me.
You do.
I have big tech companies. I have other startups. I have options, no matter where I'm in the world.
Yeah.
I'm a great software developer. How am I going to get fulfillment, personal fulfillment, if I'm all about just the coinage, the change, the dollar? That may be not something that, we pay extremely well at TARTLE, but that may be not a reason to work for TARTLE. That maybe you need to go to an Adobe, a Google, a Facebook, or I'm just using those as examples. Ahead. If you're just worried about being a gun for hire.
Yeah.
But why would I want to evolve myself and use TARTLE as a catalyst for that?
By design, TARTLE, the way the technology is engineered, the way it is made aware to the public, is through education and respect of human rights. Making money could be your priority, which is great. But what we've seen is that every time you push a line of code as a developer, does that have an immediate and direct impact on someone's ability to feed their family?
It is language. That code is language, and that language, what are you doing to better humanity with that language?
That language allows you to speak truth to others.
Yes.
And allow those people interacting with TARTLE to find that truth to help themselves evolve.
And who you're working for is just as important as what you're speaking, because that project that you may have with some big, let's just use big tech, for example, because we talk about this all the time. This is no mystery. We know what's happening there. Is it elevating humanity, or is it taking the free will of humanity away?
Right. Is it just elevating the business, affording them more resources, right? Taking free will away from people, not being transparent. TARTLE is designed to bring everybody into the process. So individuals shouldn't work here that are only about themselves.
Yes, 100%.
And you can ask any of the employees that currently work with TARTLE that it's not just about the pay and the benefits. Their greatest benefit is the impact they have, positive impact, on really helping people better their lives. And every time there is a keystroke, every time there is a response in customer service, every time a data packet is paid out, there are no bugs, no delays in the system. That is one moment faster someone has money in their hands to put food on the table. That is one moment quicker that a resource can go towards a not-for-profit or charitable organization to have impact on local cultures, the environment, education, public health. When you come to work here, you understand that it's no longer about you.
Right.
Yes, you're important. Your skill set's fantastic.
Right.
But you're doing this for others. You truly have to do this for human beings. And people that are dishonest, it's very easy to see through that.
So I'm a Ukrainian UX designer, right?
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And how do I affect, besides my local area in the way that I live my life, how am I affecting climate stability, human rights, educational access for women in Africa?
Yeah.
How am I able to be a part of that through TARTLE as a UX?
As a designer.
Yeah.
The simplicity, your creativity and simplicity, if you were coming in as a UX designer, to be able to efficiently make those resources, the interaction people have with TARTLE, to channel those resources towards some sort of end user, like a not-for-profit, right? Or women's education group in Africa. My ability to streamline and have that process so it's a human interaction, one that is not separate from the human being as a UX designer, but one that becomes an extension of the human being. There's a difference here philosophically with what we do at TARTLE. TARTLE is not designed to create a technology for technology's sake. Many technologies are good.
Or shareholder value.
Or shareholder value or all those other things. It does create that. But that's secondary to the fact of creating human value first. So if we are here to create human value, to evolve human understanding through data, right? Through the sharing of these resources, then we have to make sure that the technology is an extension of a human being, not something that is designed separate from it. Where the human being and the human being's values determine how the technology is engineered, not let efficiency and all those other things define what for the human being it should be doing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. So, because I'm trying to bring these into real life, a global vision. So this Ukrainian designer, they're like, I really feel this strong urge for educational access to Africa. And, I've made a connection. Maybe I went there on a trip or a visit or something, or maybe it was in, underdeveloped country, whatever it may be.
Yep.
The design that you make for TARTLE, what process while they're making that design, what do you want them thinking and the thought process that they have when they're making that? They're creative. They're putting a personal.
Yes.
They're putting their creativity, which is a huge, high, vibrational. I mean, creativity is what makes the world flow. You know what I mean? So,
I understand.
How is that thought process? Because a big tech company is going to look at it and say,
do it most efficiently.
How much shareholder value, how much like this design is for this, and
make
this.
it flashy, do all this.
What is the difference in, and we're just using this as one example. What is the difference in that thought process of design for TARTLE?
Your very first thing that you need to think about is, what is the effect of this change going to be to the end user? Does this, and these should be the frame, and these are the frame references which we share with the people who work at TARTLE. Does this negatively affect someone's free will? Do you take over the decision process for them? If you do, don't do it. The person has to have the fundamental choice. That's one of our big things. Second part underneath that, is it accessible enough so regardless of background, race, religion, creed, color, IQ, it doesn't matter what it is, do they all have the ability to seamlessly interact on a very simple to use platform? Because if you make any sort of friction, that's going to prevent people from coming in. Okay? Is your design meeting people where they are in their lives? It's not for TARTLE to define how people should live their lives. We are the extension of them. So we have to make sure that if you are that UX designer creating that new experience, is it an extension at a fundamental level that everyone can resonate with, that everyone can be a part of?
Because you can work for a cool sneaker company.
Yes.
And make cool design, but then you go through the supply chain and look, and then it's like, how's the welfare of the employees? There's always these questions. If these questions arise, or you see that through the implementation of that design, it's a non-starter. Before something is implemented, your creativity has to have these factors in place. If they don't have these evolutive, human rights respecting benchmarks, if they are not met, then it will not work. It will not scale. So when people come to work at TARTLE, they realize that the implementation of what they do, whether it be design, write code, customer service, marketing, if it doesn't meet people where they are, if it does not respect their free will, if it does not afford them choice, if it does not reduce the friction of interaction, then it should not be done. Because if you remove a lot of those barriers, the things that take sovereignty away from that end user, if you take it away from the platform of not being an extension of the human being, but being something separate, it will never scale. It can't survive. So when someone says, well, why would you want to come work for TARTLE? The question is, what sort of an impact do you want to leave on this planet for good that would be far beyond what you could have done just in your own realm of possibility with where you currently were? You are interacting with the extension of humanity when you work at TARTLE. You're not interacting with the local collective or culture that you're in. You're speaking with 225 countries. You're listening. You're helping them understand each other. You're helping yourself understand them. You're evolving your perspective of how you respect other human beings. You're forced to learn. TARTLE does not afford you the ability to be something you're not. You have to be so truthful with who you are. And it's more of a challenge on the self to say, is what I'm doing the correct thing? Because TARTLE affords you all the responsibility to go forward and do it. But that comes back to you. You have to have the self-responsibility. And what we found is that we've had phenomenal people that come here taking on that self-responsibility. That's why it works so well. That's why people are pleased to go to work. That's why they find joy in what they're doing, because the reaction you get from other individuals is you actually help their life. Right.
What greater payback beyond economics did you ever have than truly elevating another human being's life? When someone tells you they can feed their family, there's no greater work you could be doing.
No, there's no greater work. And whenever you look at the pressing issues that are facing every country, whether you're from Ukraine or Africa or United States or wherever it may be, Philippines, each country is facing its own problems. And those problems stem from people being selfish. It stems from corporations being selfish. It stems from governments being selfish. It stems from the individual being selfish. And you have an opportunity when you work for TARTLE to release all of that you have, that you see, all of that bogs you down, all of these mental health issues that we're facing globally. This isn't a problem that is happening.
It's not isolated.
It's not isolated. It's not only happening in Kazakhstan or whatever. This is happening globally in developed countries, the top developed countries, and in underdeveloped countries. I think the biggest reason to work for TARTLE is that we work with you to find your purpose.
Yes. And when you find it, we are going to champion you to follow through with it, and we're going to give you all the responsibility to do so.
Because that signature that you leave behind is your creativity.
Correct.
And we can funnel that globally. We're that marketplace to funnel your creativity for you to see your purpose and who you are. We're not going to tell you your purpose. You need to find that in your own journey.
Correct.
But we want to be there alongside of you to help and assist and for you to work in that direction. So I know we have, I want people to understand this, and you can speak to this. It's very simple, jobs@tartle.co. You just send us applications, send us your work, send us an email, jobs@tartle.co. You could go, very, very simple to do. What are some of the things that you're looking for? Just real quickly, some of the things that you're looking for. And what are some of the positions that I know developers we constantly need, but some of the things that we're looking for now?
Yeah, front-end developers, back-end developers, computational scientists, so statisticians, people, individuals that are deep in customer service experience, because there has to be human touch points everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere, yeah. Email specialists, SEO. I mean, the list goes on and on. I have lots of marketing.
Yeah. When, some people may find this kind of morbid, and it's just, I guess that's perspective. But when we have a discussion on Tartle, when we're going through the hiring process, one of those questions is, well, have you considered, what your death looks like?
Yes.
And I know this sounds wild, but we can't be naive about the fact that our time is limited.
100%.
It's just what it is. And so when you afford yourself the time to think about the limitation of life, how is it that you want to define up to that point when it comes to an end? Because it will. So it fundamentally changes your choices about what you're choosing to do. And if you want to have that impact, right? If you want to find joy in the choice, in the reflection of your life, you need to think about the end of it first. So when people come here, it's like, what is it you want to do? And it's okay. You might want to do things for yourself. I get it. But in doing things for yourself, does it also have that positive benefit for everyone else that's interacting with it?
Yeah, and I think we could say data, your creativity, the things that you produce, all of those are going to live way past you.
That's precisely correct. So every time you work with this entity, which is Tartle, it will outlive me. It will outlive you.
Right.
And the impacts which it has on humanity, human civilization as a whole, will be far beyond what we ever could have imagined. It'll be far more intricate and complex and interlinked, but it did occur. So when you come to work with Tartle, you choose to be that catalyst for great positive evolutive change.